Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Fighting Dragonauts です。はい、ということで今日は LGBTQ について話していきたいと思います。テレビだったりとかメディアで LGBTQ について取り上げられていることも多いので見たりとか聞いたりすることは皆さんあると思うんですが、実際に詳しいところどういう感じなのっていうのを知る機会というのがあんまりないんじゃないかなと思います。ということで今日はパブロをスペシャルゲストとしてお迎えしました。
こんにちは。よろしくお願いします。
私たちの英会話カフェLanCulというコミュニティでメイトとして、所属している方になります。So can you introduce yourself?
Yes. So my name is Pablo. I am as part of the LGBT community. I'm gay and I come from Spain. Luckily today I can give you some information and talk you about like my experience of being gay in Japan. Stay tuned for more information.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We want to know a little bit of your background.
I am a musical theater actor and I was very lucky to have an opportunity to work in Shima, in a place called Shima, Spain Mura. I was dating my first boyfriend there, so that gave me a lot of time to see what is the reality of gay or LGBTQ people in Japan, and it's really different from what we have here in Tokyo. I was living in the countryside.
That's true, yeah.
So the reality from the media and the reality for the majority of like LGBTQ people around Japan might be very different. So that gave me like fire to say, I'm gonna quit musical theater, I'm gonna go back to university, I wanna study Japanese culture and society to be able to help these younger people, especially to help young children in school, because the level of bullying in Japan, it's pretty hardcore. It's pretty heavy on people who are different.
That's true.
And then I decided to come to Tokyo, and here I am.
Can we know about your background as a gay person?
Yes, I was severely bullied when I was in school. Being gay was considered a sin, or that you were dysfunctional. Your family didn't raise you in the proper way.
Right.
At the beginning was kind of curiosity. Why am I always looking at men? Why am I not like the other kids that want to date a girl? Inside of me, I was still trying to convince myself like this is something you have to repress. And then I entered musical theater school. Many gay people, lesbian people, LGBTQ people around me, so I was able to see, okay, I'm not alone. I came out to my parents when I was 21. The coming out was strange. I was one day sitting in my computer desk and my mom just knocked into my room. And I was like, yes, what's going on? And she asked me, well, I want to know if you like girls or boys, are you gay? And my first answer, because there's this feeling of I don't want to disappoint my parents, I was like, no, I'm bisexual, because it's kind of giving them the hope that there might be a girl in the wedding. But then I automatically said no, I'm gay. And my mom was I kind of knew, but I didn't expect it. And I said, please don't tell anything to Dad. Let me handle it. Unfortunately, the next day when I came home, I opened the door and my mom said, Pablo, come to the living room. Your dad wants to speak with you. And I was like, it's like, why, Mom? So we got into like a very big argument. He said very hurtful things that he didn't mean, because he said, I don't accept it, I don't like it, and I don't respect it. I told him, I can deal with the two firsts, but if you don't respect it, it's done. And I don't mind losing my father. So it was a whole week of, silent meals, tension, my mother crying. And I think my mom, kind of talked with him and let him see that it's still your son. So by the end of the week, he came to my room. He said like, I'm sorry, I overreacted. My fear is not that you're gay. My fear is how society is going to treat you. How hard is it going to be? I think that's what most parents are afraid of.
Yeah, because they love their kids. They want the best for their kids.
Exactly. Nobody wants to see her child hurt. So he said, give me time to adapt to this new reality.
Right.
And now it's like I talk about dating with my dad. So become best friends.
I was curious, since you were gay and living in Japan, have you ever felt discriminated against LGBT society?
I would lie if I say no, but I think there's a huge difference between the West and Japan. In the West, some places you have to fear for your life. You could be harassed and beat up in the street.
Just because you're gay?
Yes. The problem with Japan is that it's a group culture. So if you're different, it's not one against one. Kind of like, I think you call it like derukui ga utareru. Around people, I've never been discriminated in a bad way. It's more people not understanding and me having to explain. Yet, when I was searching for an apartment with my current boyfriend, we were denied some apartments because we were gay.
Like, did you actually have to tell them that you guys were dating and that you guys were gay? It's
not that I had to tell them, but I wanted to tell them because I don't have to hide. Some of the owners that might be, old generation.
Yeah, probably not comfortable
with but my current, like the owner of the house is around 80 and he knows we're gay and he's like, no problem. So it's just personal. Perhaps the most one is that I cannot marry here. I can get married in Shibuya, I can get married in Setagaya and in many other prefectures. That doesn't give me a visa to stay, and whenever I go out of Shibuya, I am not married. It's a tricky. I think Japan is changing, but it's still
difficult.
Yes, it's 2020, please. You have dinosaurs in the government.
For real, I guess.
Yes.
Okay, you already kind of talked about this, but how is it like to be as a gay couple in Japan?
I mean, I have both experiences in the countryside and here.
Right.
I would say with my current boyfriend, there's no problem. I try to be considerate with the culture. I also have to remind that I am the visitor, so I cannot impose my culture. But if I want to hug my boyfriend or if I want to like give him a kiss, I do it outside. It's just when it comes to legal stuff that it's when it gets very frustrating.
Right. Yeah, so recently people says that like in Japan, the situation is getting better for you guys to just live in. But if you compare to other countries, how do you feel about Japan right now?
We have to remember that many countries, if you're gay, you can get killed. So in that regard, I'm very happy for Japan. It's like, well, I don't have to hide myself. If I compare it to Spain, I would say that just talking about LGBTQ issues, I will be more comfortable there. Because no matter what people have to say or what people think, the law, the government protects us. We can take legal action. We have equal opportunity.
Right.
Whereas in Japan, nobody bothers you, but then when you really need something, there's nothing you can do.
It's like you don't have a support.
Exactly. So yeah, in that regard, I'd rather be in Spain. But at the same time, I like Japan. What can I say? I like living here. I think it's a very beautiful country with a beautiful culture, and I think Tokyo is international city. So most of people are like, "Oh, you're gay? Oh, okay. And what do you do? What's your job?" It's like you don't need to say it. Especially new generations, like they're like very like we don't care. But yeah, I would like to get married.
So for the last question, what do you expect from Japan to be a better place for everyone for the future?
I'm kind of sorry to be like very like going back to the same issue, but I believe once Japan legalizes same-sex marriage, that is gonna affect everything in society. Put on the paper, on the reality, the fact that there are different families. There are different ways of living. There are different projects of life. And I think that is exponentially going to like jobs, education, lifestyle. You don't have to follow, I have to marry, I have to have kids, and I have to have a 9-to-5 job. Like, do you? And I think that once it's legalized, the amount of suicide rates is going to become lower because the pressure, follow the rules, it's pretty high in Japan.
It's really high.
It also will be a very, very good advertisement for Japan in terms of, hey, we moved on from this kind of stuck conservative position. Maybe it's time for Asia as well to acknowledge, because Japan is such a big reference in Asia. It could open the door to many other countries to be like, okay, maybe we need to start, thinking about it. Sparkly rainbows and glitter all over Japan. Isn't it nice? Subarashi. As my mom says, it's never too late. You can always learn something, you can always love someone new, and you can always change, so never give up.
はい、ということで最後にですね、私たちが所属している英会話カフェLanCulというコミュニティなんですが、英語を学ぶだけじゃなくて、世界の違う文化、交流ができたりとか、自分らしさっていうのもシェアできるような場所になっていますので、ぜひチェックしてみてください。
Whatever she said, yes.
はい、ということで今日もご視聴ありがとうございます。それではまた次回お会いしましょう。Thank you for watching. See you next time.
See you soon.